Originally started out going down the path of being a CFO. Went and got a finance degree and worked for General Motors in their finance division, and was definitely on that path. But learned over time that I liked more than just numbers. I thought I was always a numbers guy, but it turned out I love people. I love psychology. I love the art of the sale. I never thought I would be a sales guy, but I did sales as a learning experience, but turned out that I loved it. Yeah, I think there were two kind of opportunities through my career that really solidified that potential for me. One was when I was working for General Motors, a division called Delphi Automotive. I was maybe 25 years old and given the opportunity, started out in their finance group, but given the opportunity at 25 years old to run a small manufacturing division that had about 150 employees. And here I am, this 25-year-old finance kid being given this responsibility for running a manufacturing plant with 150 employees in California and Mexico. Just really getting thrown into the deep end and having to manage through that. So that was a real learning experience for me and kind of a maturing opportunity. I was working for a company called Polycom. They gave me the opportunity, number one, to move to Australia, which was a significant moment in my life, but also that's where I moved into sales. This was at a significant inflection point. So we as a business, we're a smaller startup company. We've been around for about 5 years, and we were at a point where we really needed to start delivering on the promise of our technology. We have amazing kind of core capabilities, but creating a sustainable growth business out of that was the challenge that we were facing. We were doing too many things, going in too many different directions, so really narrowing our focus to doing one or two things really well and growing in that particular area. So it was about bringing in new opportunities and growing, picking the right strategy and paring back on some things, so making some very difficult decisions about things not to be doing. So that's always difficult when you've made some promises or started down one direction. Changing that is a difficult challenge and decision to make. We had cultural and staff changes as well. And then the last thing that I'll say is just keeping an early stage company funded through a very, very tough macroeconomic climate in the last 6 to 12 months. Those things all coming together created a very challenging environment for us that we needed to step up and solve. Yeah, so I'm really happy to say that we're starting to see the fruits of our labor for the past 5 years, and particularly over the past 12 months. We've won 2 brand new deals with some significant organizations in our business area. So we've won a deal with professional soccer leagues here in Australia called the A-Leagues, and the second one is Cricket Australia, who's a huge global brand with over 1 billion fans for their content. We're working with them. They're our biggest client ever, and it's a deal that we've been working on for quite a while, and to see that come to fruition was absolutely game-changing for the business, but also very reassuring in terms of the progress that we're making. The other thing that then led us to was successfully completing a funding round for our business in what continues to be a very difficult market for capital investment, and giving our investors the confidence to see that the business is growing and changing and maturing is what really allowed us to do that. And for the first time since I've been here anyway, we've had new investors coming to us. So rather than having to chase for some of that funding, and we still had to do that, but we've started to see investors coming to us because they are seeing a change in the business, they are seeing a change in that capability, And we're starting to see the fruits of that, where people are recognizing the opportunity and the business. Personally, I feel that calmness and that confidence that I feel is important in a role like this. As a leader, you need to have that. You might be, doing a million things in your brain or a million things underneath the surface, but you need to have that calm, that ability to, number one, portray that calmness and that confidence, but to genuinely feel that is absolutely critical. And I can say that I'm in a very, very different position today than I was 6 months ago, just in terms of my ability to deal with all the things coming at me. Just having that calm, quiet confidence to be able to manage through anything that's coming at me. I absolutely contribute some of our success to the change in just the overall energy and outward kind of appearance of the business. We have a confidence, we have a calmness, we have that focus that our investors and that customers are looking for. We're not chasing. We're not busy. We're not active. We're calm. We're measured. We're working through everything we need to do. It's not saying we're not doing a million things, but we're doing it in a way that the market and that our investors see as confidence. Allowed me to calm myself and face those stresses that really come at me. It's given me the capacity to deal with everything that I have to deal with as a leader, and as a leader in my business and a leader in my family. There's so much that's coming at you that you have to grow your capacity to deal with that. And you've helped me really understand that and change my mindset to focus on that. Nothing like anything that I've experienced in the past, and it's not even necessarily what I was expecting. I didn't really know what to expect, frankly. I came into it with an open mind and understanding that I wanted to make improvements. But the big thing for me is that it's not about specifically the business. It's not coaching per se. What I would say is it's kind of more about that personal growth that leads to organizational growth. And it's been about changing my approach and my view on the business and on my role and even on my life just in general, in terms of just having that control over myself and my space. It's not all about capacity to deal with negative things. It's about being open and having the capacity to allow positive things into your life as well. So it's not just all about blocking out the negative. It's about being open to the positive things that can, be coming to you, and about visualizing what's possible. So number one, it's the protection side, which is not allowing the stresses to bother you and to affect you, or to minimize that effect. But also being open to that positivity, to visualizing where you want to be, to being open to the possibilities of, what's available to you. It's just changing the way you think about it as well, because that changes the way you feel. So it's a really small thing that's had a huge impact on me in the past couple of weeks from our work, is not thinking about opportunities, but thinking about possibilities. Even down to the fact that in our sales pipeline, we called things opportunities. I'm trying to change that now and actually try to talk about those deals and those potential clients as possibilities. And it seems like a really small thing, but an opportunity is kind of opportunistic. It may or it may not happen. Some things have to happen in order for that opportunity to become reality. If you look at it as a possibility, everything is possible. It's a possibility that outcome will happen. And, even Paulo the other day challenged me. There are times when, either a customer or sometimes our our board or our chairman puts a challenge to me and says, James, you need to make this happen. And there are things that they're really challenging. But rather than looking at it as a challenge or an opportunity, it's a possibility that what they're asking me is possible. The other thing that I think was really important for me was that the concept of silence, that as a CEO, as a leader, business in general, there's so much doing, there's so much activity, there's so much talking that oftentimes you're just trying to convince other people, you're just trying to do things, you're just trying to get things done. But without that silence, all of that noise means nothing. Yes. So you have to take that time to sit back, to let an idea breathe, to let a concept breathe, to not just come back with your reaction. So even in a discussion, especially in Zoom meetings, there's not enough silence. So that silence is really important, to let an idea stick, to say something and just let it sit. Mm-hmm. It's been game changing for me that it's not just all about action, that there's a need for that pause. What I will say that's been different for me in working with you and Paulo is somehow you guys always know when I need to hear something. Like I'm going through a challenge or a struggle or something, and you'll shoot me an email or a text or a call just at the right moment to remind me of something or make me kind of sit back and think. And it's really interesting. Sometimes when I get a call from Paulo, it'll be at like the worst time, like I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, I've got to prepare for a meeting in 5 minutes. But I've come to realize that even if I can talk to you or him for 2 minutes, there's something that you're gonna say that's gonna make me think about things a little bit differently and just kind of reset my thinking on something where I might normally go down the path I would always go down. It's not saying you should or shouldn't do this. It's just, what about this? I'm really grateful for the work that you and Paulo have put into helping our business and help us get to where we are.